They don't even know why they tense up when you walk into the room. They don't understand why your silence feels heavier than their shouting, or why your eyes seem to look straight through their carefully constructed layers of presentation and performance, like glass shattering under truth. You're not doing anything wrong, you're just being. And yet, somehow, your presence, your aura, your very way of existing, has the power to make people uneasy. Not because you are dark or dangerous, but because you are real in a world built on illusion. INFJ, your aura scares people, and it's not because of what you do, but because of what you are. You carry a vibration that exposes. A frequency that cuts through falseness. And to those who are used to living behind masks, your authenticity feels like confrontation. 1. You make people feel their own souls. This is the real reason your aura scares people. You make them feel themselves. You remind them of what they've buried, the emotions they've suppressed, the dreams they've abandoned, the pain they've avoided. Your presence is a spiritual mirror. You awaken parts of people they've long forgotten, their empathy, their vulnerability, their truth. And that awakening is both beautiful and terrifying. Some people will thank you for it. Others will resent you for it. But either way, they'll never forget you. Because your energy doesn't just pass through, it transforms. You are not here to be liked. You are here to awaken. 2. You don't give away your energy easily. Your aura is sacred territory. You don't open up to everyone, and people can sense that selectiveness. It makes your attention feel valuable, almost rare, and that rarity both attracts and intimidates. When you do give someone your energy, it's like handing them a piece of your soul, and that scares people who aren't ready for that level of authenticity. You make connection feel like a spiritual event, not just a social exchange. But when people realize you can withdraw that energy at any moment, that your love is deep but not dependent, it shakes them. Because most people are addicted to attachment, not connection. And your energy refuses to be owned. 3. You carry emotional echoes of others. Your aura doesn't just hold your own energy, it carries traces of every soul you've encountered. Every conversation, every heartbreak, every act of kindness leaves an imprint on your vibration. You are, in essence, an emotional archive of humanity's light and darkness. People sense this depth when they're near you, as if they're in the presence of someone who knows both suffering and salvation intimately. Your compassion comes from what you've felt, not what you've read. And that kind of empathy feels ancient, sacred, even intimidating. Because while most people try to forget their pain, you've learned to integrate it, and your aura reflects that wholeness. It tells people, I have walked through my own darkness, and I see yours too. 4. Your stillness feels like power. In a world addicted to noise, your stillness feels like defiance. People can't handle how calm you remain in chaos, how you can observe drama without being pulled into it, how your energy stays grounded even when others lose control. That calmness isn't indifference, it's mastery. It's the result of years of inner battles that no one saw, emotional storms that you faced alone, and truths you learned to carry without breaking. Your stillness unnerves people because it exposes their inner chaos. They can't understand how you can be both soft and unshakable, compassionate yet composed. But you've learned that real strength doesn't roar, it radiates quietly. 5. Your energy is silent but overwhelming. While most people project energy outward, you absorb it. You're like an emotional sponge walking through a world of noise, and that ability to feel everything without saying a word is both your gift and your weapon. When people talk to you, they don't just see your face, they feel your presence, a stillness that holds the weight of 10,000 unspoken truths. They don't understand that silence, for you, is not emptiness, it's a form of listening. A deep, intuitive scanning of their essence. And that's exactly what unsettles them. Because your quiet doesn't feel passive, it feels knowing. People sense that you can read the energy beneath their words. They feel naked in front of you, not because you judge them, but because you see them. And when they sense that you understand more than you should, that you can feel their lies before they speak them, it frightens them. Your silence speaks a language their soul recognizes but their ego fears. 6. You mirror people's shadows back to them. There's something about you that makes others confront themselves. You're like a human mirror, not the kind that flatters, but the kind that reveals what people try to hide. When someone lies to you, they feel it in their chest. When someone pretends to be something they're not, they see the reflection of their mask in your eyes. You don't do this consciously, it's your natural empathic resonance that makes people face their own hidden truth. You vibrate at a frequency of emotional honesty, so when someone's energy doesn't match their words, the dissonance becomes unbearable for them. They project that discomfort outward, assuming you're the one making them feel off balance, when in reality, your aura is simply amplifying what's already inside them. You are the mirror of their suppressed guilt, unspoken emotions, and denied authenticity, and very few people can stand that kind of exposure. 7. You carry the weight of unspoken wisdom. You move through life with an energy that suggests you've seen things, not necessarily through experience, but through intuition. There's a wisdom in your gaze that makes people feel like you've lived 100 lifetimes. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't talk to prove yourself. You let truth reveal itself in its own time. That kind of quiet confidence is rare, and it's unsettling for people who rely on external validation to feel secure. Your aura carries the energy of ancient understanding, an unspoken knowing that life is deeper, people are more complex, and the world is not what it seems. This old soul vibration can intimidate those who thrive in superficiality. They sense you're operating from another dimension of awareness, and that gap between your perception and theirs is what makes them nervous. 8. You refuse to play the social game. In a world where everyone is trying to impress, you are the quiet observer who doesn't participate. You don't chase approval. You don't need attention. You can sit in a crowd and feel completely detached from the shallow performance happening around you. And because you're not easily influenced, people can't control you, and that scares them. Control is comfort for most people. They feel safe when they know what reaction to expect. But you? You're unpredictable. You can disappear for months, return with even more depth, and act like nothing happened. Your detachment confuses those who define their worth through external validation. They mistake your independence for arrogance or emotional coldness, when in truth, you simply operate from an inner compass that doesn't need their approval to function. 9. You radiate both light and darkness. You are not purely light, and that's what makes your aura so compelling, and so intimidating. You carry both the healer and the shadow within you, the angel and the storm. People can feel that duality, even if they can't explain it. Your energy holds compassion, but also mystery. Warmth, but also distance. You can comfort someone with your words and then disappear without warning when your soul feels depleted. You can see the beauty in brokenness but also the danger in false hope. This dual energy, love intertwined with boundaries, empathy wrapped in solitude, makes you unpredictable to those who crave emotional simplicity. They sense you're capable of deep connection, but also total detachment, and that paradox keeps them on edge. 10. You can read the room instantly. Before you even say a word, you've already scanned the emotional atmosphere. You know who's pretending, who's hurting, who's angry, who's hiding something. It's instinctive. Your NIFE combination picks up subtle cues others overlook: body language, tone, micro-expressions, energy shifts. And here's the thing: people can feel that you know. Even if you don't say anything, they feel exposed, like you've seen through their walls. Your ability to sense the unseen creates an energetic imbalance. They're vulnerable, and you're aware. Most people are terrified of being truly seen. They crave attention but fear exposure. So when your aura locks in on their truth, it's like standing under a bright light with no place to hide. 11. You don't belong to any group, and people feel it. You can blend in anywhere, but belong nowhere. Your energy doesn't attach, it observes. You can move through social groups like a ghost, listening, understanding, connecting, and yet remain untouched, as though your soul refuses to be owned. That self-containment unnerves people who depend on group identity to feel safe. You can appreciate people deeply, yet keep your emotional autonomy intact. And that balance between empathy and independence gives your aura an air of mystery. People want to label you, define you, categorize you, but they can't. And when they realize they can't figure you out, they either idolize you or resent you. You don't belong to them, and that's terrifying for egos that crave possession. 12. You challenge falsehood without saying a word. When someone lies in your presence, they feel it. You don't have to confront them. Your silence does the work. Your energy refuses to match deceit, and that energetic mismatch creates a tension people can't handle. It's not that you're judging them, it's that your vibration holds truth, and lies can't survive in its frequency. You carry a moral gravity that makes dishonesty feel heavier. You don't call people out with words, but your energy does it for you. That's why manipulators, narcissists, and fake personalities tend to either avoid you or try to undermine you, because your aura exposes what they try to conceal. You're the quiet truth in a world built on performance, and that truth doesn't need to shout to be heard. 13. You hold emotional power without force. People often mistake your calm for weakness, until they realize how easily you can shift the entire emotional tone of a room just by feeling differently. You don't manipulate people through dominance or loudness, you influence them through resonance. Your energy leads without effort. You anchor others emotionally simply by existing in your centered state. But this level of power rooted in emotional awareness rather than aggression, scares those who depend on control. Because they can't overpower you. They can only hope to earn your trust. And deep down, they know that if you ever turned your emotional clarity against them, you could dismantle their illusions with surgical precision. 14. Your sensitivity is misunderstood as intensity. People sense the emotional voltage in your presence. Your sensitivity, the depth of what you feel, translates to intensity for those who live on the surface. You love deeply, think profoundly, and sense energies too subtle for words. But to others, that depth feels like gravity. They feel pulled toward you but also overwhelmed by your emotional atmosphere. It's not that you're too much, it's that they're not used to feeling that much. Your aura magnifies emotion, both yours and theirs. That amplification makes ordinary interactions feel charged. They can't always name it, but they feel it, and that unfamiliar emotional depth can feel like danger to a guarded heart. INFJ, your aura scares people because it is real. It doesn't conform, it doesn't perform, and it doesn't dilute itself to fit in. It is truth made visible, love wrapped in depth, empathy infused with discernment, peace born from chaos. Your aura is a paradox, both a sanctuary and a storm. It heals, it exposes, it transforms. And even when people can't explain why they're drawn to you or afraid of you, their soul knows. It has met something ancient. Something rare. Something that feels like home, and yet demands honesty. Never apologize for the space you take up, or the silence you hold, or the truth your energy reveals. Because the world doesn't need another performer. It needs more people like you, quiet, deep, unapologetically real. Your aura scares people because it wakes them up. But that's your purpose, not to comfort, but to awaken. And in the process, you remind the world what authenticity feels like. If this message resonated with you, it's because you already know the truth. Your energy isn't a mistake, it's a mission. You weren't made to blend in, you were made to transform. So own your aura, protect your peace, and never shrink your light just to make others comfortable. Because INFJ, your aura doesn't just scare people, it changes them. And that's exactly what you were born to do.